more refills! Give me back them toys, you freeloaders! Show's over, cheapskate!
Hey, it's my lucky day! A penny!
Your luck just ran out!
Hey man, he's back! You're crushing my arm!
Unhand that penny or the arm comes off!
Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have a crazy current events video talking about the PS5 price increases. A lot of you guys have asked me if I can make a video talking about this, giving my thoughts on this, and I truly think that Sony has lost their mind. If you enjoy videos like this, do drop a like. It does help me to make more content like this. But anyways, about this, I also link this down below. This is the blog officially from PlayStation, posted 2 days ago. I think this is going to cause PlayStation a lot of problems, and this is just stupid. And I also think it's corporate greed. I don't think that there's really an excuse for stuff like this, and I'll explain why a little bit later here in the video. But I will also be doing a GTA live stream, GTA Online live stream, between like 30 minutes to an hour after I post this video. And you can, ask me anything you want. So if you want to come by the stream afterwards and, talk to me about this and ask me my thoughts about this further, you can. I answer as many comments as I can. You do not have to donate to me for me to read your comment. But I'll just be doing a stream, 30 minutes to an hour after this is posted. So check by the channel if you want to come by on that. But anyways, March 27th, 2026. New price changes for PS5, PS5 Pro, and PlayStation Portal Remote Player. Prices effective starting April 2nd, 2026. From Isabel Tomatis, Vice President Global Marketing, Sony Interactive Entertainment. With continued pressures in the global economic landscape, we've made the decision to increase the prices of PS5, PS5 Pro, and the PlayStation Portal Remote Player globally. We know that price changes impact our community, and after careful evaluation, we found this was a necessary step to ensure we can continue delivering innovative, high-quality gaming experiences to players worldwide. The updated recommended retail prices for PS5 consoles are effective starting April 2nd, 2026. For all other territories, please check with your local retailer or direct PlayStation.com where it is available. Oh, man. Now, you'd think if this was April 1st, you would think that this might be, an April Fool's prank, but it's very much not. So PS5, $649 or $650, I should say here. This is, I'm pretty sure, a $100 price increase because I think this was $550 beforehand because it went up $50 before. And then PS5 Digital Edition, $599. I think this is also a $100 increase. I think it was actually $499 beforehand. So that's also that. And then PS5 Pro, wasn't PS5 Pro $750? So that is a $150 increase. My God, $900 for a PS5 Pro. $900. And I'm looking primarily at my country here, the United States, because this is where I live. But in Great Britain, it's £560 for a PS5. I know their money is worth more. PS5 Digital Edition, it is £520. PS5 Pro, £789 or £790. Europe, €650. PS5 Digital Edition, €600. PS5 Pro, €900. And then Japan, 97,000 yen, or almost 98,000. I don't know how much that is. 90,000 yen. I know the Japanese currency that there's like thousands more is not that much, but this is still expensive. This is still a lot. So like in Japanese currency, you pay basically in thousands. It's common. That's what it is. But this is still a considerable amount. PS5 Pro, 137,000 yen here. Man. And then you also have the PlayStation Portal Remote Player, $250 US, £220 Britain, and €250 Europe, and 39,000, almost 40,000 yen in Japan. Did I like this? No, I don't like this. So basically, there is probably three causes for this. I think that the number one reason, I personally think, is corporate greed, but there are other things that people are saying: tariffs, the stupid war of Iran. And on top of that is also the RAM, because AI was basically, has been buying up all the RAM, and it's caused RAM to basically go up in value, and RAM is in, consoles. And so because of that, RAM becomes much more expensive to buy and produce, and that is because of the scarcity of it now, that is also why Sony's justifying this price increase. But I don't think that they need to do this price increase at all. The reason I don't think they need it is because you have to remember also that when Sony launched the PS3 back in 2006, they charged $600 for the PS3 back in 2006. That was 20 years ago. And even though that money was worth a lot more back then, they still lost money on every single PS3 that they sold. So they sold it, undervalued, I'm pretty sure. And the reason that they did that was because they knew that they would have more people buying it. And if they charged any more, people would not buy it. And people would spend money on the PlayStation Store. People would spend money on digitals. People would buy PlayStation games. And so they would make their money back, and they would get a pretty big customer basis, because once people have that PS3, they're going to basically keep buying games and games and games. So that was basically the logic with that. And I think the same logic can be applied with the PS5s here, where somebody buys a PS5, even with the tariffs and the AI, the AI RAM stuff and the stupid war that's going on, even with all of that that's going on, I still think that, Sony could still sell it for what they were selling it beforehand, which was $550 for PS5, $500 for digital. PS5 Pro would have been $750. I think that's what I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's still really expensive. It's already gone up. But they're either breaking even or they're still going to make a little bit more. So I think this is also corporate greed. I think this is a way for them to justify increasing in prices. And I think that with the next-gen console, what a lot of you guys were saying, so when PS6 comes out, they might possibly charge $1,000 for the PlayStation 6. That's what they might justify it as. So I'll say this is the current prices on the PS5, and then PS6 is going to be now $1,000. I would not be surprised by that. And the thing is I'll tell you something, the only way I would ever accept the PS6 being $1,000, the only way I would ever accept something like that, and hear me out on this when I say this, the only way I would ever accept something like that is if we had online free. If we had online free, then yeah, eventually over time, you would get that money back, and you wouldn't have to, constantly keep buying a subscription. But they're not even offering anything here. And, they could have offered something here. They could have said that, oh, if you buy a PS5 right now, you get basically a year free of PlayStation Plus, something like that, because that's their online service. They could offer that. They could offer trials. They could offer, a year free to everyone. But they're not even offering that. They're not even offering a year free of PlayStation Plus. That's what's ridiculous about this. You're paying monthly for these online games, and on top of that, there are some games where you also pay for an extra service on top of that. So, like, for example, like, one game that I play is Elder Scrolls Online, and Elder Scrolls Online, while you don't need the subscription, the subscription really helps out the game, and then, there's so much things you cannot do without the subscription, and then there's also other games that do require a subscription, so you're paying for PlayStation Plus, and then some games might require an extra subscription on top of that. So, like, it's like just, you're constantly getting charged, from Sony to all these different games to all of this stuff. It's just charge. And with everything becoming more digital, it's like these companies, they don't want you to own anything physical anymore at this point. And I wouldn't be surprised if PS6 doesn't even have a disc drive. I would not be surprised by that if there's not even a version of a disc drive, that they expect you to get everything digitally, which I would be completely against that if they ever did anything like that. But I will tell you this. I am somebody who believes very strongly in competition. I believe that competition drives the market, and I think that is, where people get the best prices in free market capitalism. And this is precisely why I was always supporting the Xbox doing well. Now, I own an Xbox Series X. There's some games I play on it. Sometimes I do playthroughs on certain games on Xbox, but I'm primarily a PlayStation player. I would say 90% of the time I am on PlayStation. So I'm not on Xbox that often, but I still want Xbox to succeed. It's not that I hate Xbox. I'm just used to PlayStation. That's just what most of my friends are on. That's what I've always played my whole life. That's just the console I'm used to. But that doesn't mean I have this hatred for Xbox or that I want Xbox to fail. I still want Xbox to succeed. The reason that I want Xbox to succeed is because it drives competition. If there is a competitor that is rivaling Sony, then that competitor, that Sony is going to have to create something better to rival that competitor, or else they will lose business to them. And that's why when Xbox increased the price of, Xbox, I forget what the online is called. I know it used to be called Xbox Live when I was, a kid, but I don't remember the name of the service. The Xbox Live service, the online service, whatever it's called. I remember they raised the price of that. And when they did raise the price of that, what ended up happening is that a lot of people got really mad at Xbox, and people threatened to switch to PlayStation at that point. And people said that the console war was pretty much over at that point when Xbox raised the price for their online subscription. And the thing about this is that was a really stupid decision that Xbox made. But now this is a really stupid decision that PlayStation has made. So the console war is very much not over. And if Xbox is smart and they play their cards right, if they offered like a discount right now on their consoles or something like that, that could basically be a big FU right now to Sony. So if Microsoft is smart and they play their cards right, they can really take advantage of this situation. That is basically what I'm saying about that. So they can take advantage of this. Now, what I will say ultimately at the end about this is that here's the thing. These price increases are going up April 2nd. If you were deciding on whether you should get a PS5 or not, get it now. That's basically what I'll say. Get it now, because you don't want to wait and price is going to increase, and it's going to be the same exact thing on, you know, sites that sell online. Let's actually take a look at eBay. Okay, so on eBay, I have it right now for new. So there is, you know, several offers here. I'm seeing that people are still selling it for, you know, under the price of what Sony is charging for. And these are new, a lot of these here. But when you do buy from eBay, the one thing I will say is to make sure you do your research, look into the person that you're buying it from, because I know there's risks of scams. But if you just click on somebody's profile, see what their reviews are like. If the person has sold a bunch of products and they have 5-star reviews, the chances of you getting scammed are minimal. And you can return it if, you know, something goes wrong. So, like, even if worst case scenarios there's a scam, eBay does have a money back guarantee. But, you know, there's auctions, there's different people, you know, offering it, you know, buy it now here, new PlayStation 5. Again, make sure to read the reviews here. So I'm not telling people which one to specifically buy from. What I'm saying is that you can get a deal right now is buy the PS5. If you're going to buy the PS5, you know, buy it now. That's basically what I'll say. And let's see here. We'll put it really at anything here. You know, there's people that offer, you know, used PS5s also. And the thing I'll say about that is there's nothing wrong with buying a used console. There really isn't. You know, people think that it's going to be a disaster, it's going to break. No, as long as the console's in good condition and the person, you know, cleaned it and they cared for it, it's not really a big deal. So yeah, so there are still offers. You can still buy this, but I'm telling you guys, in the next couple weeks, all of these offers here on eBay, all of this is going to go up. This is all going to increase. All of this stuff. This is all of this is going to go up. So that's basically what I'll say is that if you were deciding on whether you should buy a PS5 or not, if you don't have a PS5, get it right now. Get it right now if you do not have it before this price increase happens. The other thing I will say about this, I know some people are going to ask me in the comments, professional, should I buy the PS5 Pro or should I buy the PS5? I know people are going to ask me that. Here's my thoughts on that. If you already have the PS5, don't bother. Don't buy the PS5 Pro. PS5 Pro might run some games quicker, might load some games quicker, might have a little bit, you know, graphical upgrades in certain games, but it's not really that noticeable unless you're specifically looking for it. If you're specifically looking for that difference, you'll find it, but if you're just playing regularly, you're not really going to notice it, at least in my experience. If you don't have a PS5 Pro, for example, get PS5 Pro as your first one. But if you already have a PS5, there's really no point in getting a PS5 Pro. I got a PS5 Pro because I'm a YouTuber and I wanted to do a review on it. I'm looking up PS5 Pro here. So yeah, people are selling PS5 Pros here, even, you know, $435, $355. So there are people that are selling them. Again, just make sure you read the reviews. Some of these don't have reviews on them, but that's basically what I'll say is that, and there's other sites also you can get it from. Let me even just check Amazon too. PS5 Pro is $750 new on Amazon, but I would say eBay. I would say eBay is probably your best bet because you can buy new consoles on there also. There's deals that you can always find. If you always look around, you can find the best deal. I'm not telling you which guy to buy it from. The only thing I say is that just check their profiles, check their reviews. And that way you can minimize yourself getting scammed. But I bought plenty of stuff from eBay before. I've only had one bad experience. There's one time where I got scammed on eBay, but I did end up returning the thing that I got scammed with. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. I think that Sony has lost their mind. I think this is just stupid. I think it's an excuse to justify corporate greed. And like I said, if Sony can offer something, they can offer a year of PlayStation Plus or something like that, but they're not even offering anything. They're just basically saying, oh, you know, we are just, you know, providing you the best gaming experience, blah, 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 this, and just that's to justify the price increase. It's just stupid. No decrease on PlayStation Plus subscriptions or anything like that, and they're still doing this. I think it is a way to justify basically corporate greed. That's what I think it is. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, and see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.